Hey girl, welcome to the Black Girl Voices podcast. I'm Shivaun,
And I'm Whitney.
and every week we get together to laugh, cry, shade, and share everything from pop culture to racism.
So grab your headphones and your oversized mug and come and join the conversation.
Welcome back to Black Girl Voices podcast. It's me, Shivaun. Whitney's here.
Hey,
Uh,
y'all.
if you are listening for the first time, I realized the other day, I was like, people might be tuning in for the first time.
Welcome.
So I might need to do like a little welcome. If you were tuning in for the first time, basically the basis of this podcast is Whitney and I, we get together and we just have conversations immersed around Black women, but centered around Black joy. So
Hello.
while if you are a non-Black listener, you will definitely learn because I believe that there's a lot to be learned in just being immersed in Black culture and around Black people. We're not here to teach. We're not here to share the news, current events. We are just here to center Black joy and just exist. And so we hope that you will be invited into our existence and maybe learn a little something in the process.
All of that. All of that. Yes, and amen.
How are you doing, Miss Whitney? How's it going?
As well as can be expected with a three-nager.
Mm, I forgot. She was 3.
Yeah, just a fresh new 3, like brand new 3. No, we're doing really, really well. Just I love that you introed and you place so much emphasis on the joy part because
Yes.
I don't know if you've been noticing on my particular page, but when I said I was going to lean heavy on joy.
As
I'm
you
going
should.
to just treat joy like a couch and just plop on that thing because
As you
it's so
should.
important. It's so important. And like, not to jump ahead, but like some of us lean really heavy into trauma and pain and suffering.
Girl, this is our podcast. We jump where we want to, okay? Jump.
But I want to hear about you first. I want to hear how you're doing first before I jump.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm doing well. I am processing a lot of grief. My grandma passed away this March 15th. And the holidays, I now understand what people are saying when they're like, the holidays are so hard. Christmas wasn't her big, holiday, but Thanksgiving was. She was like the center of the party, the life of the party. Like you were gonna know she was there. And I think I'm feeling her absence more and more. So I'm processing grief and I am pushing myself to feel it because I'm a very like, okay, it happened. Like I cried about it and like we have to keep pushing and like I'll just, that lump in your throat, I'll swallow it and I'll keep swallowing it and I'll just walk with the lump. And I'm like, no, Shivaun, we gotta like get in the shower and cry or something. I mean, we gotta
let it out.
You gotta cry. So, but that's hard. That is, I don't think people put a lot of emphasis on that. It is hard to cry when you have shut that part of your emotions off. Like it is very hard to cry. Like and I'm not a big crier to begin with. So
relatable content.
Yeah, but I need to cry. I know I need to cry. So that's been tough to navigate through.
Yeah, that's quite the journey.
Yeah, so shout out to anybody who's had a loss at all really, but definitely this year because I understand. I understand. Let's before we jump in, because this has become my favorite thing that we've been doing. I want to hear your grievance. I want to hear your grievance for today.
I almost called you a word.
We do that in love. We'd be like, listen.
Literally. And I'm like,
we do that in love. So if y'all ever hear us exchanging,
you will not hear us curse each other out. I promise.
We don't curse each other out, but
not in public.
No, absolutely not. But no, that's sometimes we'll be like, bitch, let me tell you.
Let me tell you.
So tell me, girl, what is the grievance?
I'm tired. Okay. I know some people are going to be really mad at me. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Y'all need to direct your energy and your smoke that you have for celebrities who are not performing advocacy the way you want them to perform it. Direct that to the politicians who could actually do something about it, or the activists who are doing something about it.
We needed a moment of silence, so I couldn't say anything immediately.
My husband calls it the Selah. He's like, that is a Selah moment.
We needed a moment of silence. And here's the thing. I know, like, I understand you. So I know that this is not Whitney saying, like, you can't want to see celebrities speak out, right? I think that's great. And I think it's expected to want to see your faves say something, especially, I will say, in the recent, again, this isn't as recent by the time y'all are listening to it, but it's important enough, especially surrounding the genocide. We want to see all of our faves just say something.
And
that's fine. But y'all want them to y'all want them to end the war. Like, y'all want them to do the ceasefire.
You want her to call the Biden person to tell him to stop it, because, or you think that her post that she's gonna make on her socials is gonna, like, affect,
And I'm gonna just keep it real, because honestly, I'm just gonna come forth. We're talking about Beyonce because
we are loudly.
This is what's been driving me crazy. If you are one of those people, here's the thing. Beyonce, at the end of the day, I love her. She's a billionaire though, and that's still problematic in itself. Okay, all billionaires. There's no ethical billionaire. Okay, none. That's problematic. We are fans. We're not stans over here. So we're not to say she can do no wrong. Sis is human. Okay,
like anyone else.
She is fallible. But my problem is, it don't be the same energy all the way around. If I see you holding all your faves accountable, cool. But there's a different level of aggression, and there's a different level of, I'm gonna just keep it real, internalized racism that comes out every time a Black woman disappoints y'all, quote unquote. Taylor Swift at this point, and I'm gonna keep bringing her up, because every time there's a Beyonce criticism, it's normally in comparison with Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift hasn't said a thing. Taylor Swift's movie also premiered in Israel,
which I don't think is fair that they're getting smoke for that, because I'm like, but that's AMC. That's AMC. And I'm like,
I will say, they do have the power. So I will jump to the people who are like, I don't believe, we're not going to sit here and say these people don't have the power. They do have the power.
They do. They
do. Taylor Swift are powerful enough, rich enough, popular enough that they can pull their movies.
They can.
But we also need to have smoke for the systems. It don't be the systems for me. Y'all don't want to dismantle the systems. You want to dismantle the people. And your criticism of Beyonce not saying anything, okay, fair. What does that have to do with her mothering? What does that have to do with her?
Don't get me started about that.
What does that have to do with her as a person? What does that have to do with her gay uncle, who you didn't like the way she honored him in her music? What does that have to do with anything?
Anything. Y'all, I'm waiting to hear.
Yeah, honestly, what does it have to do? Moment of silence so y'all can tell us. No? Okay. The petty jumps out sometimes. But I would even argue that those same people who are like, oh, we're holding them accountable because we want change, are the ones that are stopping the change, because we're putting our focus into what celebs are doing instead of the cause itself.
Thank you.
Okay, she didn't speak out. She should have said something. She could have said, my heart is with the Palestinian people. I'm not above, or I'm never going to be the person who is not going to hold anybody accountable. That's the same way that I can criticize Biden, because we got people, if we want to keep it real, y'all are saying, oh, y'all can't criticize Beyonce. Some of y'all are like, vote blue no matter who. That's the same energy, if not worse, because these people actually run the world. These people are getting donations directly from people in Israel. Yeah, they are in their pockets. They are in their decision making.
Yeah,
they're in your homes.
Yeah,
they are in our police forces.
Yeah.
So
I just want y'all to direct smoke at people who can actually do something about the actual issue. Yes, it would be beautiful if we saw a post or, something, a statement, a donation, something.
Honey,
something.
And she may have.
That would be beautiful. There are
activists
right now who are begging for help. And I want to pull this out, not just from what's going on in Gaza, but just globally overall. Mari Copeny has been Little Miss Flint since she's been a little child, and she has been
Which shouldn't have
begging
had to do.
begging for clean water for Flint, Michigan for years as a child, begging. How quickly we forgot. How quickly the destruction that happened in Maui, how quickly we forgot.
Ooh, I'm so glad you brought up Maui, because I saw something today and I was like, that's it. It's just y'all having smoke for Black women and just how they show up or how they don't. So, okay, once again, I can be critical, but I can also point out hypocrisy. So Oprah, she did some sneak shit.
Oh,
okay,
that pissed me off.
She
I'm
did.
gonna be honest, that made me mad.
Ass wrong.
That was wrong.
Billionaire behavior. That's why there's no ethical billionaires.
See,
but her and The Rock both were in this whatever this
PSA
charity. I don't know. It was bullshit, if we're being honest. And I was looking at today, so it came, something about Maui came up on my feed, and I was looking at the critique. Mind you, they're both in this bullshit thing together. I was looking at the critique of The Rock, and I was looking at the critique of Oprah, and I said, we're not keeping the same. I'm missing something. I'm missing something, because again, Oprah was dead wrong. She deserves everything. Every criticism coming to her. Yeah, she deserves the smoke. But The Rock was right there as well. They're co-partners. Like, this isn't like her.
He was standing right there. Right there.
Bypass him to give your bullet to Oprah.
But you know why? Because Black women are supposed to be the mules of society. I feel like I say this every episode, but it feels like we're supposed to do the labor of whatever. So the labor of entertaining, the labor of teaching, the labor of activism, the labor of advocacy. And we are not seen as human beings. And when we mess up, it's as if your blender broke and you just cussing out your blender rather than, oh, this is a fallible person just like me. Maybe I should give them grace because they are fallible just like me. Or maybe I should hold them to a standard that I hold people to, and not, I don't know.
What about your dusty ass friends? What are they supporting? What are they supporting? What are they donating to?
Why my friends gotta be dusty ass
friends, not your dusty ass friends.
I'm kidding.
But you know, the dusty ass friends.
No, somebody's like, well, how did I get
Billy Bob? What the hell is Billy Bob doing to save the planet?
What are y'all what are y'all
doing? Billy Bob voted for Trump.
Well,
okay.
Well,
y'all will have smoke for all of these people, and then the people in your circles, are downstairs committing actual violence on their keyboards every single day.
Because
living in their mom's basement and typing out dissertations and manifestos about how much they hate the people that you're saying we should advocate for.
Hello, and be loud about it.
But you don't want to talk that, and that gets me too, because it's like, we need to have these conversations. Who? Black and brown women? Because y'all will say in a heartbeat, white people, y'all will say in a heartbeat, I blocked so and so because I can't align myself with racism. Well, damn, if you block them, how can you talk to them? How can you call them in? And now they're just out here committing violence against us. Because nobody's talked to them, no one's
holding them accountable.
Or at the very least, right? Because you can't change everybody. I'm not saying that your conversation with your racist Uncle Billy Bob is about to change his mind.
Poor Billy Bob.
Poor Billy Bob. He's catching strays. He's like, what the hell? What's that Nene meme? How I get in it? Get in it. But now, at the very least, when you check Billy Bob over and over and over again, he doesn't feel so emboldened and comfortable committing that violence out loud.
You're making the water cold. Yeah.
So I'm not saying he's not going to be racist, but at least he'll keep it to himself. And I can exist out loud without Billy Bob calling me a nappy-headed monkey just for being in the grocery store.
Oh my gosh. Listen, I don't think did I share this? That somebody jumped in my DMs and called my daughter, my baby girl, a nigger monkey because I was advocating for our lives. And when I tell you I was ready to set the whole internet on fire, I said, you know what? I said,
my French, find your house.
Part of my French, I was like, you know what? Fuck this app. Fuck.
I will blow your granny's kneecaps
earrings
out.
Are coming off. We're like, and I was like, you know what? Cool it.
Oh my god.
Cool it. I was like, all right. What is the thing I could actually do right now that it would be actually beneficial, because this person's trying to get to me and I can't. But then these are the things I want people who call themselves, our allies to know. Like, pay attention to, like, why should we have, and you said this brilliantly the last time we spoke, why should I have to do the work of educating you and advocating for my own humanity at the same time? If you're benefiting from any of the posts that we put up, if you're benefiting from any of the education that we are doing, and you are not in them comments, making sure that we are safe to do the things that you so benefit from. Oh, I love your content. I love your posts. I love it. Oh my goodness.
I would love this love to turn monetary. I'm just
monetary, or at the very least as a form of support. You fight with Billy Bob. You fight him. You call his mama some name that I'm not gonna repeat, but you do it. I shouldn't have to advocate for my own well-being and fight for my own safety while I'm doing the work of education.
While you're trying to create change. Yeah.
Shouldn't have to do it. If you call yourself an ally, get to work. Get busy.
Y'all got some work to do.
That was a long grievance. I'm sorry.
No, listen. Again, we do what we want. But my grievance.
Yes, ma'am.
I have two. One is like just kind of like very random, and the other one is a lot of people about to catch strays for the other one. I'm gonna start with the short one. The short one is I don't give a damn. Okay, I'm talking through my teeth.
Teeth,
like the old mama. Black grandmas.
Yes, that's what...
I don't give a damn about that message that my ancestor from the spiritual world has to tell me. Get out of my DM with that bullshit. I have a message from you from the underworld, from the spiritual world. Leave me the hell alone. I don't give a damn. And then when I do entertain the message, it don't be no damn message. Live, laugh, love. Bitch, I could have got that on Pinterest. Leave me alone. I don't have the patience. I'm fighting for my life.
That'd be so real. Sister, I see light in your future. I would love to give you a reading. Get the out of my katana. Get out of here. Blah.
Out of here. I leave that message in the damn afterworld or the afterlife, the spiritual life, the underworld, under the sea, wherever the hell the message came from. Leave that shit with them. And I'm not against the spiritual people. I'm a spiritual person. I love crystals, and I do believe that messages come, but it didn't come through Sarah with the 2 followers. It didn't come through her. Leave me alone.
Or for Priestess Amara. Like, no. Now that Priestess Amara is probably minding her business, like, well, I messaged you.
Like, what did I do?
Sorry, Priestess Amara. But you get the point.
Yeah, leave us the hell alone. My second one, I feel like kind of will segue into maybe, I don't know. At this point, it's whatever. This don't. There's no topic today. We're just talking. But
we're just talking.
I cannot stand, and I saw this in 2020, and I'm seeing it now. And like I said, people about to catch some strays. Why the hell is it after 3 to 5 business minutes that there's a catastrophe or someone's killed? Do y'all have in your damn bios ally, Black Lives Matter, free Palestine, free Congo? Why do you need to put that in your bio? And why is it 3 seconds after it happens? One, here's the thing with it, like, we can believe free Palestine. It's free Palestine forever over here, baby. So
it's backwards.
I'm with you. I don't have to put it in my bio, but I'm with you. Black Lives Matter.
Always.
Again, I'm not putting it in my bio, especially I'm not going to change my bio 3 seconds after a Black man's killed publicly. And what is that solving? But the one that really gets me is ally. So you put this up 3 minutes after something happened, right? Do you know that ally is an action word?
Help.
Do you know that ally is a verb?
Say it again.
How did you become an ally that quick? So you're telling me that you decentered, divested, and deconstructed in those 3 to 5 business minutes that you saw that news story. And now you are an ally. Furthermore, we have to stop calling, and this is why I don't necessarily say I am an ally to certain communities, because it is up to that community to decide whether or not I am
you
an
don't
ally.
say it again.
Some of y'all are dangerous. Y'all are not my allies. Some of y'all and your white women tears and the way you switch up, like especially when the whole, I saw a lot of it when the October 7th hit, and it was, oh, you're not going to support me? We supported you. We marched for your lives.
Transactional advocacy is not advocacy at all.
Your damn allies, quote unquote. I'm doing air quotes. Y'all can't see it. Keep your damn allyship.
Keep it. Keep it. Keep it.
You don't get to decide if you're an ally. That, I don't know.
Turn the volume up on that. Turn it up. Because I'm with you. I'm completely with you. Especially around that whole, the community decides if you're safe. But the community decides if you're safe because you've done the work, because you showed up, and because you showed up in such a way that it wasn't performative, i.e., I'm not putting it in my bio, but I'm donating. I'm not putting it in my bio, but I'm doing more than just reading the books. Reading the books is a good start.
Yeah.
That's a good start.
But some of y'all are reading and not understanding. So reading to read, because the amount of checklists that we're the amount of checklists that were going around after 20, like in the height of quote unquote America's racial awakening, and it was like, y'all need to read these books, and it was like a checklist. Like if you're just reading them to check it off a list, you're not understanding them. Because some of those books, I saw the new Jim Crow on there. I had to read that book 3 times. So you're telling me a white person read it once and was like,
it's heavy.
It was heavy, and it was information. So much information. I was like, damn, am I dumb?
No, girl, it was dense. Like some of that, it's like it reads like textbooks. Like there'll be incredible resources, but like it's not something you could sit down on a Sunday while it's raining outside with your mug of tea and your like cute little sweatshirt on and read.
It's like I had to put it out multiple times because it was not cute sweatshirt, mug of coffee type reading. Like I was like, damn, okay,
tear you up.
This is enough.
No, there's a lot of books that be you know what? That'd be a great list for us. Books you need to actually read multiple times.
Books that you need to reread because you didn't read it.
Reread that.
Reread it.
Yeah. No, I'm 100% with you. It boggles the mind that you think that you could put allyship on, but it's not something you could put on, and it's not something you could perform. It is something that you are named, you are called, you are gifted with from that community.
Yeah.
And that's because you've shown up, especially when it wasn't convenient, when it was cute, when it wasn't trendy. So
all of this segues into, so we had a completely different topic in mind, but whatever. At this point though, I feel like it touches into kind of another topic that we had talked about doing a podcast on, and that is that expectation that y'all have of Black people, and I'll say Black people in general, right? To like come back with like a specific type of grace or poise after y'all have committed absolute violence against us. Here's the thing. When you go low, I'm going to hell. I'm going to the afterlife. I'm going to the underworld. Like I said, I'm coming for your granny's kneecaps. I am tired of you thinking you can call me a jigaboo tar baby, and then me just be like, light and love, queen. Light and love. No. Rot underneath a jail somewhere.
No.
I am tired. And then even like in like real life situations, right? Like you'll have the Central Park Karen, right? That was a situation. Or the Victoria's Secret, I don't even know what we're calling her, Karen.
Yeah.
And you have these instances where these white people are committing violence, whether it's verbal violence or physical violence, and y'all are like, just keep poise, be the mature one. Hello, how many times? I'm not Jesus. I'm not turning the other cheek.
Hello,
there's no crown of thorn on my head. So if you slap me, I'm going to slap you back to your ancestors.
That's self-defense at this point.
Tired. And I realized that for a long time, that like mode of respectability politics, like we need to carry ourselves, it doesn't apply now, because the reason that our parents and our grandparents and our ancestors carried on like that because it was a mode of survival. Like I even listened to
That's
stories from when my
it.
grandma was here,
That's
and I
it.
would tell her like how, this work would get under my skin and how
Mm-hmm.
racist white people would just anger me. And
Mm-hmm.
she would say, if you give them your joy, if you give them your the ability to enrage you, you give them everything. You give them power. You've got to just let it roll off of you. And I said, good for you, Grandma.
Good for
I'm coming for their neck.
you're like, no death.
No, electric chair immediately. Firing squad.
Guys, we mean proverbial. We're not actually
Yes, okay.
lives, guys.
Please.
We're just this is all jokes.
Before some white tears, call the FBI. We are joking. Okay, verbal.
This is crickets talk. I'm sorry. Not moon cricket.
To your space. Being done against me. That's my Sarah voice.
We actually don't want to commit violence against people, but y'all have to understand, like, the mindset of the average Black person walking around. We literally just want to be ourselves. We literally just want to exist. We want to buy eggs at the grocery store. We want to go work out at the gym. We want to bring our kids home from school. We want to mind our business. And leaving your home is subjecting you to a constant stream of hatred, bigotry, judgment. I'm talking about
microaggressions
that aren't micro at all.
No, that is almost, I'd argue, the biggest act of like everyday violence, because I remember just like that, it triggered me when you said we just want to go to the grocery store, because I want to go to the grocery store and mind my business the same way you're allowed to. I remember a couple years ago, I was going to Ulta and I had some Shea Moisture products and I put it on the counter and the white cashier leaned over and she whispered, I try to support Black businesses too as much as possible.
Fuck?
Bitch, what are we talking about right now?
Can you ring me out?
Let me go home. It's -9 degrees outside, first of all, in Michigan.
I have to do a twist out. Leave me alone.
Yes, I got a twist out in my head and my scalp is on fire. I need this oil and I need you to leave me alone because now you're committing physical violence by allowing my scalp to burn in this cold.
It's just like, every time you see a Black person, it's not an opportunity to have a conversation about advocacy, because sometimes I just want to go and pick up my groceries in peace.
I was at a soccer game with Shivaun in Michigan, and I've been such a homebody in DC. Partly this is why, but also I think COVID had a lot to do with that, and just like I think we're all kind of like hermit crabs a little bit. But I was at a soccer game, completely unprovoked. Now, mind you, the area we were in, it was diverse-ish, but mostly diverse because of the university that was there. So, it was predominantly white. And Shivaun was playing soccer, and a white dad, walks up to me out of nowhere, unprovoked. I hadn't even said hi. I was sitting in my chair, and he was like, yeah, they really need more diversity out there, don't they?
God.
What the hell are we talking about? What are we talking about? And then he starts telling me about how his son plays travel with a league that has more inner city kids.
Oh.
First of all, my son sucks at soccer. I don't give a damn about the travel league.
Oh no. Don't say that.
We just had to try new things.
The baby was trying. Don't say that.
He was just out there. Sometimes we got to be honest as a parent. And
catching strays.
This is
the baby's catching strays.
He had to catch a little strays. First of all, this is not in his future. Secondly, I don't give a damn about those inner city kids that you probably pity and are like, who are you? Can I buy one of them a uniform? Like, leave us alone.
Like, let us just exist like you want to exist. Like, come on. I get so irritated by that, because it's like, my existence isn't an opportunity for your advocacy. Like, I'm just trying to exist. And I think we were talking about it some time ago, but how in this house, I can be Whitney and I can be free. And, when we have our spaces, and that's why our spaces are so critical, I could be free and I could be Whitney. But outside of those spaces, I'm instantly a walking stereotype. And then if I prove to you, for whatever reason, that I'm not like the stereotype that you're making me out to be, rather than challenging that stereotype and saying, that's not true, because X, Y, and Z, you make a special category for me. Oh, you're just not
I'm a good Black. I'm the good Black. And some of y'all Black people
buy into that shit.
Y'all buy into that shit, and y'all take pride in being the good Black. Call me Nat Turner, bitch. I don't want to be a good Black.
Oh, I love to surprise them. Like, you
I'm revolting.
Don't let this light skin fool you now. Don't let these degrees fool you.
Right, because you know they look at that too, and the darker the person, the more dangerous, the blacker, the closer to the stereotype that y'all believe.
Hello,
y'all.
There's a better way.
Space.
Seriously, this is exactly why we need our spaces, because there's safety in our spaces. And I think that there's a violent colonizing attitude that says, oh, well, I can come to the cookout. Why? Because the electric slide.
Yeah, it'd be the bare minimum for me. Like you
might get a plate.
Right. Or they'll be like, it'll be a video on TikTok, and a white woman knows all the lyrics to a Lil Wayne song, and they're like, cookout. Bitch, for what?
Can I say something?
Oh no.
Can I say something?
Please.
All right.
I live for it.
Black people. Black people specifically, Black people only.
Oh yes, I already know where you're going.
To you.
Lean in, turn your radio or your speaker or your headphones, turn it all the way up so other people can hear.
There's so much beauty in our culture. There's so much richness, diversity, beauty in our culture. We don't have to accept the bare minimum to invite people into our spaces. Our spaces are sacred. Our spaces are safety. Our spaces are where we can truly just be ourselves without the burden of disproving a bunch of stereotypes. I think that we need to hold our rich, beautiful, colorful, creative, innovative, amazing culture to a higher standard than somebody rapping a bunch of Lil Wayne lyrics and inviting them in. No, you can't. Listen, but here's another thing, and this is to everybody who's non-Black. Why you want to be in our spaces so bad?
Honestly, that has always been so weird to me. And I'm not talking about like you wanting more, like you wanting to diversify your friend group. If you want to organically do that, because that also can get a little tricky, because some of y'all are like seeking out, like, I'm trying to find a Black friend. If you can't just make friends organically with Black people, and you're not trying to like and you're not trying to like Christopher Columbus some shit, like y'all are like pioneers, like, let me take out my binoculars and see if I can find a Black person.
Black.
Right, where's the Blacks? And then they have to be palatable so that they don't make me feel uncomfortable. But anyway, I'm not talking about that. We're talking about why it like irks you so much, like why you can't say the N-word when you're singing. It's just rap lyrics. Why can't I say? Why do you want to say it so much? Do you know the history of that to begin with? Do you know that?
Go ahead.
Do you know that it's because we took a word that was derogatory and we tried to change its meaning to take back power?
Yeah, but there's also like controversy amongst us about that. So
some don't even believe it should be said.
We are not in alignment. Why should you out there be able to say it?
And why? Why is it so like? Why are we itching to say it?
Why are you itching to be at the cookout? What? How does that benefit you to invade? Because it is an invasion.
Yeah.
If anything, if you want to be an ally, I'm not going to say call yourself because of the earlier conversation we had, but if you actually want to be an ally and you actually want to be helpful, you should remove yourself from these spaces and say, you know what? It's better for me to not be here because I see your humanity and I see that you need these spaces because this outside world is not kind to you. And they won't become the same way they look at me.
Yes. And when you become safe enough, like really safe, like truly safe, you won't need an invite because Black people you'll organically end up there.
We are warm and inviting people.
It's too warm and inviting sometimes.
Don't tell me. Just listen. Another podcast.
That's a podcast.
Another podcast.
We will invite you in there organically. We won't have to send you a formal invite where you have to RSVP yes or no. You know, so anyway, this was needed. This started out with Grievances. I felt like though this was needed, and I like when we have episodes like this, because I feel like there's other Black people listening who will be like, hell yeah. Or they can just nod their head, or they can feel seen, because sometimes the world will make you feel like I'm too aggressive in my thought, or I'm expecting too much, but we're not.
No.
And we deserve everything.
We expect the bare minimum, in fact. Where we need to be accepted, there. I'm gonna say this really quick. I'm gonna try to say this really, really quick. There needs to be more discussion about what liberation actually looks like. We need to be more creative in our envisioning of liberation.
Yes.
Because liberation is not just, I have the same rights as you. Liberation is the respecting of our joy. Liberation is the protection of our peace. Liberation says, liberation says people shouldn't be able to just make random hateful statements on your posts just because you're advocating for Black lives. That's what liberation looks like. We need to be a little bit more creative with our vision of liberation, and that's Black and everybody else who's not Black.
The expectation that talking about it from social media, just real quick, just a caveat on that. When you said the showing up of joy, just you guys not feeling owed this education to the point where when we just show up as ourselves, or just, I think we talked about this in another podcast, or when we just post like, hey, here's my family, y'all show up, y'all interact with us. It's not unless I'm teaching something, preaching something, offering something, that people show up. Like and you can go to my page right now, go to Whitney's page right now. See it. Look at our posts. Yes, you'll see it. At our posts that aren't teaching anything and are just us existing. You'll see it. You'll see that we're not exaggerating, which I really don't give a damn anymore if you feel like that.
I'm gonna post what I'm gonna post, and y'all can just deal.
Right. But I appreciate y'all, Black people. I hope you feel seen and heard. If you're a non-Black person, I hope you take away something. I hope you tell a friend. If you have not joined our Patreon, please join. Patreon helps us, first of all, be able to pay for the fees for our platform. Things like our editor. We have an editor now. So being able to pay the editor to edit our podcast. We have not gotten enough Patreon subscribers yet where we're even turning a profit. We're literally just keeping this podcast alive. And
keeping the lights on.
Yes. And so we have hopes to one day in the future transform this into, somebody picking this up, a network picking this up. So join the Patreon. You'll get an extra episode. There'll be one tier where you can just support. And then there's another tier where you actually get something, like you get an extra episode. Whitney and I will pop in and interact. You might get a little post or something like that. So we appreciate you. We love you. And we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Bye.